Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Your Property Journey, episode 5. Thank you to everyone who interacted on the WhatsApp channel and suggested the theme for the next episode, which is today. So we will be covering chatting about the buyer's checklist. So when you, as the buyer, have made the very important decision to go ahead and start looking at properties to buy, these are the suggestions in terms of what you should be doing or looking at when you make that very important decision. So, number one, I cannot stress this enough, get yourself pre-approved. There are hundreds of companies in South Africa that can do the pre-approval for you. It is always free. So do not ever pay for the service. It is a free service that any bank or financial institution would do for any client. I can, of course, assist you with that now as a new service that I provide you. I send you a link and you submit everything on a safe and secure website. So once you know how much you qualify to buy for, this, of course, will give you the opportunity to narrow down your um, idea or your budget in terms of when you are searching on all the various online platforms for property that you want to buy in a specific area. Take, for example, Property 24, you can actually put in a few different suburbs within your budget, and then you can look at all different suburbs. You can Parow, Goodwood, Edgemead, Plattekloof. You can put them all in your search areas and then select your budget, and then you can look at all those options, right? Once you have that realistic budget, right? Say, for instance, you are pre-approved for 2 million. Your budget should be within 1.8 and 1.2 or even 2.2, for example, so that if you go and look at properties, in my opinion, all listings should be negotiable with the price. But of course, there are some sellers that are not as negotiable with others, and you will discover that the more properties you go and view. Now, when you do your viewings, we all have our nice to haves or our must haves, and be realistic with your must haves because it obviously relates to what your budget is, right? And when you go and look at properties, make a list for yourself, whether on your phone or on a piece of paper, and ask some questions before you do viewings with the agent. Because sometimes there are, for example, open days where people don't set specific times for the viewings. Sometimes with myself, for example, if I do viewings, I set 15-minute slots if I have like a block of 2 hours to do viewings, for example. So in those cases, and even if you have show houses, there isn't really an opportunity to ask all questions and things that you might have. So ask some pre-questions to the agent before you do viewing, and then after the viewing, if the property interests you, ask some of the questions via WhatsApp or give the agent a call and ask all the things that you want to know. And once you've now decided what you are going to, that you're happy with the property that you went to and view, then of course you'll proceed with signing an offer. And that is one of the other steps that I will cover in one of the future videos. And then point 4, your buyer costs. So that refers to the transfer fees and the bond registration fees. Now, the bond registration fees only applies if you are purchasing with a bond. If it is a cash purchase, then of course you'll only be paying your transfer fees. Now, all of these fees are of course related to the specific cost of the house. So the more expensive the property, the higher the costs will be. If you are a first-time buyer, the bank is likely to include these costs in your bond application. So that means instead of 100% bond, your bond would be a 105 or 108% depending on the costs that are related. So that will also be discussed with whoever you are dealing with, your bond consultant or the bank consultant that is working with you for the bond approval. So just keep that in mind. There are many websites that you can use to give you an idea of the approximate cost, what it will be. You can also ask the agent to help you because, for example, myself, I use an app that can calculate those costs, and I normally send that on as well once the buyer has made the decision to purchase the property. And if it is your second property that you are buying, normally the clients would get those costs from the sale of a property, and then of course you need to inform the agent of that, and then when you sign an offer document, that will be one of the conditions of the sale, that you would put in the OTP or the offer to purchase. Then yeah, that is it for this episode. Mainly just stay open-minded throughout the process and make sure that you ask as many questions as possible. A good agent will never tire or shouldn't tire when buyers or even sellers are asking questions, because this is one of the most important decisions that you make when you decide to buy a property. So keep that in mind as well. So that's it for today's episode. For the next episode, I am going to chat about the different websites that you can go and view properties. So that's it from me for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you at the next episode of Your Property Journey, bringing you home.